The Bonneville Shoreline Trail has been under construction for 30 years. Join me, Brandon Plewe, and my son Spencer as we hike the 200-mile length of the BST to learn about its past, present, and future, and explore the landscape of this boundary between the city and the wilderness. That's a beautiful early spring day here in Bear Canyon and Fruit Heights. Today we're going to finish Davis County, and unlike last time, almost all of today's hike is on trail that was finished many years ago. Hopefully won't get too much mud. We've had a lot of snow this winter, and we'll see how it goes. Our first task here is that we've got to climb up onto the bench there out of this canyon, so we'll see how that goes. According to this, there's definitely a trail going that way. That's what it shows on my map. And this way, you can see a lot of people went that way, and that will go up and connect to where we want to go. But I'm not 100% positive there's a trail that actually will connect in the end. We might go half a mile that way and then get a dead end. So I think we'll take the safe way here. Well, we're picking up, we got up to the shoreline level here and backtracked our way into Bear Canyon. Turns out we were right. If we would have gone the other way, it doesn't make its way up to this point, so we went the right way. We finished our last episode right over there on the other side on that trail, and I can now see how difficult this section's gonna be. Very steep, very rocky. I can see where someone has just cut just a little bit further of a trail, but it's pretty faint, and it's going to be a difficult section of trail to cut, but when they get it done, it's going to be spectacular. For years, Fruit Heights has celebrated Christmas with this star lit up on the mountain. The guy that originally started it, Bruce Nielsen, has since passed away, but there's a nice little plaque in his memory here on the generator. There's yet another example of what I think is responsible hillside development. Fruit Heights is allowing them to put in a street on the lower part, flatter part of their property, but in exchange, they have to give the upper part of their property to open space and improve a trail that currently goes through it and build a trailhead near where we started. So in the end, it'll be better for us trail users. Looks like we got another decision point here to deal with. Okay, so the original Bonneville Shoreline Trail goes straight up, kind of up this berm here, and straight out there you can see the trail going around the hill. But just around the hill there's a gun range that leads to obvious safety concerns. So currently the official trail goes down quite a ways below it, down to the Kaysville Wilderness Park, and then back up to reach this height. But it sounds like, I don't hear anything, so it sounds like the gun range is probably closed today. So I think we'll take our chances and stay high and not have to go all the way down and back up again. Well, as you can hear very clearly, I was wrong. They are shooting. I appreciate the fact that they put the sign up here. Although I've heard that I don't need to backtrack all the way. There's a hard way down. So we're gonna go back here a little bit and see if we can find another way down to go below the gun range. over our journey, we've passed through a lot of areas where cities have been able to acquire a big chunk of open space up in the hills and set it aside as a preserve. And this is actually one of the oldest. Kaysville had did this decades ago and has been able to preserve. It's not huge by modern standards, but it's nice to have this land set aside. We're going to be heading back up through this park to get back to the BST. Well, that's helpful. Stay on main Bonneville Shoreline Trail, except it doesn't say which one is the main Bonneville Shoreline Trail. My maps say this one, so they end up both in the same place eventually. Kaysville City doesn't really have much of a frontage on the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, so it would have probably been easy for them to just forget it altogether. So I really appreciate that they have gone to effort such as building this really nice bridge here a couple years ago. In fact, they actually brought it in by helicopter and dropped it into place here. So it makes a very nice connection. Well, we're about 3 miles in today and just leaving Kaysville and going back into Forest Service property, and there's our first Bonneville Shoreline Trail sign so far today. Given that we're on probably a couple feet of snow here, I've been amazed today at how compacted and solid the trail itself is, which I guess is a testament to just how popular the Bonneville Shoreline Trail is up here. Those of you who have been with us for a while may have seen back in episode 3, so way back when, we talked with Dr. Chuck Oviatt, who is probably the world's leading expert on Lake Bonneville, about how the Bonneville benches were formed, especially these deltas that were formed at the mouth of each canyon as sediment was brought down, especially out of the Uintas, dumped into the lake. And here we're just starting to get a good view of probably the largest of those along the Wasatch Front, which was the delta of the Weber River. If you look at it on a map, it's big fan shape, but it stretches all the way from Kaysville and the upper part of Layton here across Hill Air Force Base. All of Hill Air Force Base is out on that delta, and then all the way into about half of Ogden is on that delta. Most of Roy is on that delta. So it's just this huge area out there that then the Weber River has cut a new canyon through that we'll be crossing here in the next episode or so. So, large bench here. After all those really nice bridges we've crossed today, I don't know why we couldn't get one here across Hobbs Creek. Oh, we made it to the trailhead. That's a good sign. You know, one of the problems on this section of trail today, as with a lot of the sections that we've been hiking over the past couple years, is just a lack of signs. Missing a lot of signs that we could use. There's been, even today, there were a lot of places where the trail split and there were junctions and such. And without having apps and just being really good at being able to read maps, it was quite confusing. So I think we may make an effort this year to try to get funding to put in a lot more signs along the entire length of the trail. Here in the Layton Ridge neighborhood, there's a short section of BST that goes behind the houses here about a half mile before it dead ends, because there's private property between there and Weber Canyon. But unlike the rest of what we've been hiking on today, nobody's packed this down, so we're not about to do that. We're too tired. So I think we'll skip ahead now. Weber Canyon here is proven to be harder to cross than anywhere else along the trail. I mean, you have the combination of the Weber River there, which is bigger than the Provo or the Spanish Fork River, plus all the freeway here, I-84, very busy railroad track, with very steep terrain you can see up there, compounded with these really deep gravel pits over here. And the land on either side of the canyon is all privately owned, and they've had a difficult time getting permission to build the trail through there. The compromise solution, at least here on the Davis County side, is to bring the trail from the Layton Ridge neighborhood, which you can see over there, across the bench, somehow finding a way through public and private property, to bring it down to the Weber River and then come down along the river. So this would actually double as an extension of Weber County's Weber River Parkway. And you can see here it's part of the US 89 reconstruction. They're building a pedestrian underpass there specifically for this trail. So we'll go under the highway there and then come back to the Weber River and follow that along an existing trail, which hopefully they'll improve, maybe even pave, as part of the Weber River Parkway. Well, to get over there into Weber County, you can continue this trail under I-84 there easy enough, but then we're going to have to build a bridge over the Weber River into Uinta. That's going to be hard, but we'll save that for next season.